guy alone inside. He's got the breakaway with the touch to the right. Goal! Everything you wanted from this debut. It's Brandon By. Taking a shot with the left. Goal! Isaac Frank from 25 yards out. The equalizer. Will Kidd with the touch of the goal. It's a go-ahead goal. Minneapolis City.
This is the People's Pitch Podcast, the official podcast of your Minneapolis City Soccer Club, brought to you by Summit Brewing Company.
Get up, get down. It is time for the People's Pitch to make noise in your town. Welcome to the one and only podcast about your Minneapolis City Soccer Club, the 2018 NPSL North Champs. This is the People's Pitch. As per usual, I am Nate, and I am joined, as always, by John Bisworm. John, what's been going down with you this week?
Dude, lots of college soccer, and since we talked college last week, and we'll likely get to it this week, spoiler alert, now is the time of the show where for the college kids I chug a beer.
Yes! Woo! Yes, I can hear it.
Oh, that was awful.
Oh, you did it.
Wasn't as fun as it used to be, Nate.
It's not easy anymore.
Woo! All right, let's do some podcasts.
Yeah, man. Today's show is all about putting some players on the pedestal who might not get a ton of attention during the NPSL season. Today we're going to be checking in on the. You okay?
I got my eyes are watering.
My esophagus. It hurts so bad.
It's burning.
Well, as soon as you recover, today we're going to be checking in on the U23 players who are tearing it up all over the country, all the way from Columbia University in New York City, even to closer to home. We got tons of people, New York to New Prague, that are playing soccer that played with Minneapolis City this summer. So we'll check in on them. But first of all, it is the most wonderful time of the year, John. It's FIFA release season.
The most wonderful time.
After some early looks at the game, you and I, that really everyone is going to be playing for the next 12 months, we will let you know our thoughts. John, you are not a huge gamer usually, but FIFA is just one of those games that you have played in one iteration or another basically forever, right?
Hell yeah, man. Since the beginning. I mean, I usually buy FIFA and then some other game every year.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a whole lot of video game time anymore in my life with kids and this whole Minneapolis City thing. Excuse me. Oh, man. I still watering. Yeah, it means you know it's real.
Yeah.
The drip's the best part. So I buy usually like a racing game, or like last year I bought Grand Theft Auto. Mm-hmm. But I always buy FIFA, and my loyalty to the game has been rewarded. I have a physical copy of the FIFA franchise since 1994 for Super Nintendo.
Whoa!
So I have a physical copy from 94 through 17, where I had to substitute for a digital copy for 17 and 18.
Damn.
But yes, I have been there from the inception, and as a result, and pulling some strings by hounding the shit out of an EA Sports ad rep a few years back, yeah. I'm an official beta tester of the game each year.
You're even a more intense beta tester, because I was also in on the beta this year and last year, and then but they only give it to me for like a week, and then they straight turn it off. With you, they give you like tasks, they give you all sorts of like debug tests and things like that to do, like getting you to try to break the game. Right,
like I told you about my task with having a team and transfer all Americans into it.
Yeah.
Under 26. So I had to do a career with a team and get them from a second division to a first division. And they gave me the choice between Kaiserslautern, Hanover, and I forget the third one.
Why do you think they just gave you weird stuff to do like that?
No idea. Maybe because my game, like when I play, I usually pick Kaiserslautern as a season.
Yeah.
And because that's my squad, so that might be it. I don't know.
Weird.
So I had to have only Americans under 26, and then I had 3 seasons to make it to the Bundesliga, and if a player hit over 26, I had to sell them. So I had to go through the transfer process of like looking at birth dates and trying to figure out when guys were going to be aging out. So like if a guy hit say 26 in the before the winter transfer period, I had to get rid of him in the winter transfer period. So it was really tough. It was really, really tough. But it's like shit like that I get. I don't
they're
get
just trying to make sure that like all the menus are going to work, that everything's easy to navigate. There's no issues. That's weird. I mean, that's a very complex task to give you over the course of a couple weeks of testing, but still.
Well, actually, I have a couple months to do it because
okay.
it's pretty involved, and they don't expect me to just like sit down and like in my mom's basement like some people. So like literally some people who just sit in their mom's basement and play FIFA all day.
Yeah.
But the hardest part I think was then I found a bug was in the negotiation, because if you noticed in last year's version, the negotiation for a player's contract or to transfer was like an actual like if then yes or no type scenario.
Yep.
Well, there was a bug in the beta where if I offered anything over $1 in a release clause, they took whatever money I gave them for their contract.
Oh.
So it was like, oh yes, I'll take a release clause, and then I don't care about salary. So I figured that one out. So if it's fixed, you're welcome.
Oh, all right, good work.
So, anyways,
so you and I, we've played FIFA on the team bus, in hotels, snuck a game or two in at the office once in a while, and it's a bit of a tradition around these parts, around this podcast, to use our beta access to give people a sneak peek into what this year's release has in store. New this year is this UEFA Champions League mode. What do you think of that, John?
I think it's my favorite. It's really the best part of I think 2019 is because I can actually have that champion of Europe from a club perspective. And I mean, why couldn't I get testing that as my task? But to be able to supplement in like an actual Champions League, and I'm sure they're gonna have the music, because the walkout music and stuff that you don't get, and those little things are really cool.
Yeah.
Plus, it gives you an opportunity to when you're trying to grow younger players in like the earlier knockout stages. If you're playing on a team like say Manchester City, and you have a wealth of talent, that doesn't get minutes because of the fact that they're freaking stacked. You could play some of those younger players and get them experience in really higher profile games than just playing in your league.
And it's not it's not like last year you couldn't play. They wouldn't you couldn't make the Champions League, or you weren't making the Europa League.
Like a Champion Cup or whatever.
Yeah, this year it's way more detailed and it's way more authentic, which is really exciting.
And also they're adding the Europa League. I don't want to lose sight of that either, which is also cool. So like the official Europa League, which is awesome.
Yeah. I think another thing I like this year that's new are these in-game formation changes. Where in the past couple years, you hit the right directional or the left directional, and you can change your squad to being in an attacking stance, an ultra attacking, all-out attack, defensive, whatever, park the bus. This year, when you do that, you can also assign separate formations for each of those modes. So if you want to go to an attacking formation and you want that to be like
4-3-3,
a 4-3-3, right? And then you've got your park the bus as a 5-3-2, whatever. Then that's cool. It just happens in game. Whereas I wasn't really sure what saying all out attack would do, or where my guys would end up in the prior games. So this is really cool to be able to on. Yeah, totally. So it's really cool to be able to assign if I want all out attack, it means this for me and for my personnel. I think that's awesome.
Sure. I mean, I love that part, being like an actual soccer player who, I like the game to be as real as me actually playing. So being able to play or coach and be able to tell a player on the field or send a sub in and have a formation change on the fly almost it's really, really cool. Little known fact for those of you who still have FIFA 18 and don't plan on buying 19 right away, if you have an older Xbox One, you can use your Kinect in the voice commands, and you can actually have this feature by calling out what you want to change in game.
Oh, so that's cool.
It was actually tested last year, and they wasn't really broadcasted.
Yeah.
To make it better for this year.
Do you remember in what was it, FIFA 15 or 16, where they would penalize you for swearing?
Yeah.
Your game would listen to you, and then it would get upset at your sportsmanship.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember. turn that shit off
That
right
was
away.
ridiculous. One other thing I discovered as I was trying to turn off the trainer in my first game is now there's like a pop-up juggle move button. So rather than pushing the right joystick in to turn the trainer off, now it just lets your guy pop the ball up in the air so you can start some sort of a juggle move. Is that new or is this just a new button?
Insert fart noise here. Spoiler alert, I play FIFA like I play real soccer. I ain't got no time for that shit. So
Yeah.
I pass, I shoot, I score, I defend as a unit, and I win.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm not the kind of guy that really cares about five-star skill players.
Before we go on, do you remember? You might not have been playing the FIFA franchise, but in 2000, it was either 12, 13, or 14. I forget which one. But you could turn off the commentary and you could turn up the FIFA tracks, and you could basically listen to music while you played.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and that's something they took away, and I like put it in my feedback every year. Like, bring that back because the music's always so good.
Yeah.
And they've been adding to it where it's almost like a double disc.
Yeah.
But they should bring that back again.
One thing I did do with my PlayStation is link it I've linked it to Spotify, and so
Yep,
I just
I do that
have
too.
you just have I have my all FIFA songs ever playlist, so
Yep.
I can just set that thing up
Yep. Yeah. So it's basically the same
to replace
thing.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's looking cool this year, man? I think the tactical formation changes are really sweet that I mentioned. This ability to park the bus and actually change your formation while you do it, and then switch to all-out attack and your formation changes again, versus just some sort of random attitude change that your players get. I really, really like.
So I agree with you, but I think it needs work. It would be nice if you could create your own kind of more like ease of use from scratch. Like, so if all out attack is 4-3-3, I could choose which players I want to be all out attacking. Like if I want my like my wing backs, for example, to get forward more, or I want my one of my central midfielders to be more attacking, or two of them to be more attacking, and one, or in game late be able to send a center back up to just launch long balls to and try to flick on. Like, I think as the game progresses, I think that's where it's going, but I think it'd be cool if they started to introduce that.
I agree. I think the addition this year to FIFA 19 is there is so much more depth that you can get into as you're deciding what your team's tactics are going to be, that it's possible to have to set 5 different formations with 5 different job assignments for every player on the field before you even save your lineup. So that's kind of, it gets a little intense, a little micromanaging for guys like me that just like to turn it on and play. But at the same time, like if you're really into your career mode, or you're really into managing your team to that level, I think it's a cool addition.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it's really built towards the career mode player.
Yeah.
But I have knowledge that what I mentioned with being able to be more customizable, it may come in the December update. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until the summer update, or possibly next year if they don't figure it out.
Sweet. So there are some things that we've been talking about that we have not liked, or that are a little problematic this year so far, and a lot of that comes in that this is just the beta version of the game, that'll work itself out as they get closer to release next week. But for me, the first thing I noticed is that headers off of corners are super OP. Like, I think Olin and I probably scored 3 out of 4 headers off of corners way easier than last year. Last year, I felt like you rarely scored a header off a corner.
Yeah, it was harder last year. Yeah.
Do you think, has this been fixed? Is this a balancing issue that's been fixed? Or is this something they've addressed this year because it was so hard last year?
Basically, the reason why is the timing of your... You know how you can pick your spot now?
Yeah.
It's the timing of how long you press the button down and where you place the ball. So they've gotten it to be more dynamic to the kick taker than you just like standing there and then trying to head the ball. So that's why you're seeing more goals, because guys are making more off the ball. Like, one of the things that they really did better this year was off the ball runs.
Yeah. Okay.
I forgot to mention that in our what's cool. Off the ball runs during the run of play and on set pieces are more dynamic now, where guys aren't just running forward; they're more diagonal, or they're kind of late runners when you press the button instead of them doing it automatically. So I think that also plays to the fact that guys are getting open more on corner kicks. Because I mean, in real life, you get the right run and the right ball, you're gonna score. So
Yeah.
it's a little more realistic. But I don't know, maybe they fix it so it's not as easy.
I think the other thing for me that might be a problem, but we'll see once I actually start a real career or 3, is that these all new tactical adjustments are going to really take some time to get used to. I don't mean just like changing your formation when you hit when you go to ultra attacking. I mean, usually you can hit like the up directional and then you set your offensive stance or your offensive attitude. Same with the down directional to change your defensive attitude. Last year I got it. It made sense to me. Counter attack, long ball, things like that. High press. This year it's a whole bunch of new terms that I'm not really sure what they do 100%. So it's going to take a lot of in-game experimentation to figure out exactly what the best approach for me and my gameplay is.
For me, Nate, passing still sucks.
Spoken like a true midfielder.
How many God damn it moments do you have when you're clearly pointing at one guy and you clearly don't press the button hard enough, or you hit it as hard as you need to, and it goes to some other guy or right to the defense. You figured that after all of these iterations they would figure that out. It's getting better, but I still find it very problematic. Next would be pulling off a move to beat a defender. I feel like it's almost too NFL Madden
Oh yeah,
that EA's making all these button combinations way too hard to pull off, and I would just a simple, easy move that I could beat a guy with or try to beat a guy with, instead of it being I try to make a move and I spin into the defender.
Yeah,
I want something like just slight, easy, feint touches that I can use, that I can get by a guy if I have the right space. Instead of always having to do a step over or some shit that never does, or spin move that doesn't work. Changing defenders has a lag, and I think it's almost worse this year than it was last year. That you put manual auto, or you take auto switching off and you have manual switching on. You still have that lag where you press the button of what defender you want and they slightly stop.
Or
so when you're
I see what you're saying. Yeah, or it might go to the wrong defender.
Yeah, you're trying to chase a guy and you hit the button and he stops running. It's almost too much this year. Hang on one second. My computer went to sleep there on us. Oh. I think the goalkeepers are one of two things. They're either totally out to lunch on another planet and you're easy to score on, or they're way too laser focused and locked in and you can't, and they're almost unbeatable, and there's no real in between.
And is that independent of their rating even sometimes?
Yeah. It's just all of a sudden you'll get one guy in a game and he's just unbeatable.
Just on fire, yeah.
Yeah, and you're and it's even just easy gimme goals, and they're getting up from making a save and they're tracking back to the far post, and you're there's no way in real life a person would ever be able to get up and get that far and get a hand on a ball. So I think that they need to fix the goalkeepers a little bit. Yeah.
I agree. If you're excited for the game like we are, you would know that FIFA 19 comes out on 9/28. But do you know if you pre-order it, you get it 3 days early? So I'm excited to play it in about 5 days from now. I'm gonna play me some FIFA. How exciting is that?
It's really exciting. And if you're a local person and you like buying the physical copy on day one, the Target on East Lake Street always has a copy on day one.
Ghetto Target?
So Ghetto Target always has one. So if you're looking to buy the physical copy day of, you can always find one there.
Probably buy some food stamps off some homeless guys while you're there too. I mean,
you may get robbed coming out of the store. That's the chance you take.
Yeah, it's my neighborhood Target. I love it. All right, John. So last season, we pegged a ton of our success on the depth that is our U23 squad. But the average fan might really know only about the players that were, I guess, quote, called up to the NPSL. And I'm talking U23 players like Matt Murakami, Ebs Hamid, Josh De La Rosa, Lionel Vang, etc., etc. But really the depth is real on the U23 squad, and that talent is pervasive. So we wanted to spend a majority of the show this week jumping around from school to school and really highlighting the great things that our U23s are doing this fall. Last week we went with the NPSL regulars. This week we want to show off what the kids are up to.
Right, and now is the time where I regret chugging a beer for the college kids.
There's going to be a lot of reading.
A lot of reading, yep. A lot of talking here, too. So, anyways, we dive in no particular order to some extent with Vic Farah from UW Parkside. UW Parkside operates out of Division II, and the Rangers and Vic are 4-2 on the season, including being 2-0 in the conference. Vic is featured in all 6 games thus far, starting 4 and compiling 3 points on a goal and an assist to start the season.
It's rare to see a Division II school, John. Mm-hmm. They usually skip from 1 to 3. There's not a lot of D2 schools hanging around.
Particularly in our area.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Vic may actually be the only person we've ever had from the Division II that's played on our team, or any of our teams. But yeah, so anyways, next person is Troy Luegi from St. Thomas, playing in his second man on the totem pole for the past 3 years behind one of Aiden Hogan, one of the highest performing goalkeepers in the country. Almost statistically ever at the Division III level. Troy has found minutes really hard to come by, but this year, thus far, Troy has featured in 2 games for the Tommies, starting both. Has a 1-1 record out of the 5-1 that the team is at. While in net, he's averaged 1 goal per game and collected 1 shutout. His only loss came to the next group of guys this week. I was actually at the game. But regardless, it was great to see Troy making some saves and most importantly, getting minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the trick when you're trying to develop, especially at the goalkeeper position, and we're trying to get, we're trying to stack our squad with goalkeepers. You're only going to get one out there at a time, and you'd love to see them get the experience and get the minutes over the course of the summer. But really, you got to hope that when they go back to school, it's the fact that they've stayed active, stayed fit, stayed in shape. That'll give them the advantage in the competition for the starting spot at their school.
Yes.
And so Troy, I don't know, didn't quite, he's a little half and half this year. And is he a senior or is he a junior?
He's a junior, and he played in only 2 games all of last season, so he's already at 2 this year in
Good.
Only 6 games. So,
a little more confidence in him this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next group, like I mentioned, played against the Tommies this past weekend, beat them at home, are our Luther boys, which is the one school we have the most guys out of. So coming into that match with the Tommies on Tuesday, they were ranked 20th in the country at the Division III level. Then they took down the number 4 ranked team 2-1, putting their record to a very impressive 7-1 on the year. And all 3 of our guys featured very well. First off, Ben Keller, very Zlatan knockoff lookalike striker. He's look up a picture of him or go to a Luther game and tell me I'm not right that he looks like a budget Zlatan.
All right.
But he's started all 8 games, compiling 11 points on 4 goals and 3 assists, manning the target striker role up top for the Norse. Next, we have Harry Mears, the Australian center back, has played every minute of all 8 games, locking down forwards where he left off this summer, anchoring that Norse backline. He is part of the team defense that has only allowed 7 goals thus far in those 8 games.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all, particularly when you're ranked 20th in the country, only giving up 7 goals in 8 games. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And they don't play a cupcake schedule either. They play some very good teams. So, and then finally, Aiden O'Driscoll, who was a call-up this year as well to the MPSL team. Aiden's about as smooth as it gets for a number 6 in soccer. He's super smart. He has the engine that makes the Norse tick. He's featured in all 8 games, starting all of them, scoring 1 goal, which was a worldie versus our next guy and his summer teammate against Gus Davis away. And man, it was a peach of a goal from way downtown. I got a chance to watch it online. It was one of those ones like maybe he can shoot it from here, and he did, and man, did he ever. So, anywho. He did that against our next player, which is Arthur Perrins from Gustavus Adolphus. After coming off breaking his leg that took away the end of his season last year, where he was really tearing up to the Mayak, Artie was about as hot of any of the players in the college ranks that we had. After using the summer to get his leg back in shape and getting his touch back, he is shot out of a cannon this year with Gusty. They're 5-1, and he is featured in all 6 games, starting all of them, compiling 11 points on 5 goals. So from the center midfield spot, he's picked up where he left off and scoring buckets of goals from the midfield spot. He's one of those guys that if you put an asterisk next to, I'm excited for him as well as Aiden, the player we just mentioned. Those two guys to come back and join up with the NPSL squad and get some good minutes for us.
Yeah, I think. We're always looking for solid midfielders. It feels like by the end of the season, we're always looking. We always need to fill those holes. So it's nice to be able to count on these guys. I do remember Aiden last summer really stepping up and being a strong performer.
I just remember his big game for me was against Twin Stars away, that old debacle we had at Prairie Seeds with the the lightning delay and whatever. But he came on for Martin Brown Jr. and single-handedly killed that game out.
Oh yeah,
and was every bit of the player that I know he can be at the NPSL level. But it was good to see him do it against a very physical team where I thought physicality might be his point of improvement, but he was able to do it against one of the most physical teams in our conference. Next up, we have Tanner Carlson from Davidson. It's been a rough year for the Wildcats. They currently sit at 500 on 3-3. Tanner has featured as an outside back in all 6 games, starting 1. He was another guy that, like Arthur, who came into camp with us this summer injured, and we hope that he's now back to full strength. And then hopefully we'll see his minutes start to increase as the year goes on. Another guy in our goalkeeping ranks, Quinn Kiernett out of Bates College in the beautiful Lewiston, Maine, is entering his sophomore year, and he's stuck behind a vet in goal and has yet to feature in a match for either of his freshman or sophomore year. They currently sit on a record of 2-2, so hashtags fingers crossed for Quinn that he gets some minutes here coming up. But we know how hard it is for goalies to get minutes at the college level unless they're the only guy or they're of the likes of an Aiden Hogan who ends up picking up the starting job his freshman year and then never lets it go.
Right.
Cross your fingers for Quinn. Let's send some positive vibes his way to get some minutes this year. The next guy is Nils Gilbrunson at Dordt College. After being saved from going from high school to the FC Minneapolis fiasco and then joining up with us after he realized that was a complete mess. He really hit his stride towards the end of the summer season, and he featured this fall. He's featured for the 5-2 Defenders of Dordt College in all 7 of their games, starting 2, compiling 2 goals in 2 games for 4 points.
Woo.
Wow, that one was difficult.
You did it.
I did it. I got through it. The next guy is Nathan Feiner, and he goes to Wartburg College. An atypical year for the Knights of Wartburg, who are a perennial D3 powerhouse in the soccer world of Division III, sitting at a record of 3-4. Nate was a late signing for the Rookery last summer. This season, the center midfielder has featured in 6 of 7 games, starting in 5 of them in the central midfield engine room.
Where is Wartburg, John?
It's in Iowa.
Oh, okay. You mentioned it last week too.
Did I?
Yeah, just that they were great and somebody was playing against them.
Yeah, I believe it was maybe St. Thomas. I don't know. Anyways, we can go back to the archives for that one. Mm-hmm. Next up is Mike Riley out of Loyola, a teammate of former Crow, the gambler, Connor Stevenson for the Ramblers.
Oh, yeah.
Mike comes into the year for his 3-3 side as a redshirt freshman defender, and he's featured in 2 matches thus far. Not a ton of playing time for him this year, but at least in his redshirt freshman year, he's getting some minutes. So look for him to get a little bit more experience as the season goes on. And then last of our goalkeepers, Luke Anderson of Drake. We talked a lot about Drake last week. The 4-3 Drake Bulldogs when we covered Juan Luis, but Luke should not be forgotten. He enters his 2nd year as a redshirt freshman, and like Quinn, has yet to feature in net. Next up is Lionel Vang from Augsburg.
Lionel, we saw him.
Lionel. Playing in the center of the park for the 4-1 Augies, Lionel has featured in 3 games with 3 starts, compiling 2 points on 2 assists thus far. So Maybe some injury concern there, where he hasn't played in some, or maybe just matchups haven't gone his way. But look for Lionel to also gain some more minutes as the year goes on. He was an all MIAC player last year, so you'd think that he gets a few more minutes as the season wanes.
Yeah, you'd hope. That's weird that he's not featured as much.
Yeah, you never know. You never know what happens to those college guys. Next up, everyone's favorite name, Ken Love Sloan out of Marshalltown Community College. Not to be overshadowed by what Siku did, scoring 2 goals in his first 2 minutes of his college career. But they are nationally ranked, the Tigers of Marshalltown Community College. Ken Love has been chipping in as well. He's featured in 3 games with 0 starts, scoring 2 goals. And I'll take 5 goals in 9 games from the future pair that might start on the flanks for our MPSL squad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Their first year of college. Yeah, I mean, even though it's community college, they do play a very strong schedule, and they are nationally ranked. So it's good to see both those guys getting significant minutes and contributing. Then we have Josue Bouteille, I guess that's how you pronounce it, of North Central College in Minneapolis. He's basically doing it all for the Rams. They're 4-3, and he is featured in all 7 games, playing almost every minute. In his time on the pitch, he scored 3 goals from central midfield. And the Rams may already, Nate, be close to as many games as they won last year thus far with 4. So I do love a good turnaround story, Nate.
Yeah, not bad, man. Go Rams. Where is North Central?
It's located in downtown Minneapolis.
Oh, that's the one where the intern went to.
Yep.
Okay.
It's right over by
the hospital.
By the hospital. Yeah, by the hospital.
Yep, Elliott Park. Okay.
Elliott Park. That's where they play their home games at. So if you work downtown, maybe fire up the internet and find out when Joe Sway's playing and go down and check him out after you get off of work.
Pretty cool.
Then we have Jackson White at McAllister. We dove pretty deep into the Scots last week when we talked about Max Kent, but they sit at 4-2 with an impressive 5 goals against, which is in large part due to Jackson. He's played and started in all 7 games at outside defender. And outside of the goalkeeper, he ranked second on the team in minutes played with 582 so far.
What?
And if you do the math, that's 97 minutes per game. So
he's
quite an overachiever.
He's played literally every minute.
Yeah, pretty much. I think there was one game that went into overtime, and he came out before overtime started. So, but he's averaging 97 minutes per game.
That's crazy.
So, but he's doing great work. They haven't been scored on a lot. So, and the typical stingy McAllister defense. Then we have Jack Millar from Harvard. Jack goes way back, and folks around city will remember him as being a member of our team in our first season. He took a year off from us and then went through a whole team suspension disaster at Harvard last season. But they are back on the pitch for his senior year, and currently the Smart Kids sit at 2-5 with playing a very difficult schedule. I think out of the 7 games, 4 of the teams they played were nationally ranked.
Yeesh.
So yeah, it's been pretty difficult so far for the Ivy Leaguers. But Jack's featured in all 7 games, starting 6 and collecting a goal. So how do you like them apples, Nate?
Yeah, that's too bad for Harvard. I think Jack's a guy that we're pretty excited to try to get back into the first squad, I think. But it's just been difficult there because, like you said, the whole team didn't play for an entire year due to the actions of, I think it was the senior class doing some pretty despicable shit. So unfortunately, they got the whole team punished, and now they're it's a case of everyone has to kind of get back on track.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, there was apparently like a dossier written about the girls team, and like they were given girls nicknames and a whole big disaster. So the ethics committee, which I assume takes things very seriously at Harvard, they decided to suspend the season. And it wasn't like they did it at the end. It was pretty early on in the season where they just decided to forfeit their matches. So glad to see the Jacks back on the field again.
Absolutely.
Rounding out our community college players, Esteban Badia plays for the Anoka Ramsey Community College Rams, the Ramsey Rams. The Rams currently sit at 4. They currently sit at 4-4, and they've had a very difficult schedule so far, including the Siku Kenlove buzzsaw at Marshalltown that came through. But in his freshman year, Esteban's featured in 6 games, starting 1 and collecting 0 points.
Huh. Oh, Esteban.
Oh, Esteban. Great name, though. Esteban Badia.
It's true.
Bernard Ashby Rule, another great name. A Green Bay Phoenix, another member of the Rookery that has a partner from school that plays on the MPSL team.
Yeah.
The Nard Dog has taken advantage of his buddy Steve setting the table for him this season. He's seen action in 7 games this year, starting 2 of them, and in those 7 games, he's collected 5 points on 2 goals and an assist, including one which was just a hustle play where I think it was against Western Kentucky, where the goalie got the ball and he just turned the jets on. He's got tons of pace. Turned the jets on and then nicked the ball off the goalie, trying to dribble it out of his box, and slotted one in. So, yep, sucks for that guy. And then last but not least, we have Avi Eller at Columbia University. Sorry, Avi, but someone has to be last on the list. As a member of the 3-1 Lions of Columbia, the good one in the Ivy League, not any other Columbia college or universities out there. Avi's featured in 5 games with 1 start and 0 points. And he, as I noted in the season preview of our U23 roster, is kind of facing an uphill climb with getting some minutes on a very veteran-laden team. So he'll get there and definitely be contributing by the end of the season.
Was he a sophomore?
Sophomore, yeah, correct.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the good thing about a lot of these kids on the U23 squad, is they're really in their first couple years at school. The guys that, except for, Troy, but they're really in, their first couple years at school. They're trying to come up. They're trying to break through. And like I said, Minneapolis City really gave them an opportunity this summer to stay fit, to stay active, and to keep competing at a level, at least, that a lot of their teammates probably didn't get. So maybe they won't be reaping the benefits right away, but like you said, by the end of the season, a lot of these guys are going to be featured for their team quite a bit more. We can have confidence in that.
Well, if you look at it, I mean, from a just a straight class perspective, like when I say class, I mean like year in school. Mm-hmm. The guys that are in their junior and senior years, their programs outside of Troy and maybe Arthur, are not getting as many minutes as some of the younger guys are.
Yeah.
And so I would say Arthur, Bernard, and maybe, let's see who else we have on the list here. Arthur, Bernard, and Jack. Those guys are getting significant minutes and performing, but you look at guys like, Ken Love, you look at Mike Riley, you look at Nils, and then the guys that are at Luther that are basically play every minute, every game. Those guys are really showing how beneficial playing with us last summer really was for them to get them prepared for the next level, which is the whole goal and the whole reason for having that team when we started it. Not just preparing our MPSL team, which is what they did this year, but preparing themselves. So it's really good to see.
Yeah, totally.
Alrighty. Well, that is the episode, folks. Thanks as always to our sponsor, Summit Brewing. It's Oktoberfest season, Nate. Time for one of my favorites to hit the bars and liquor stores.
You just chugged one.
Yeah, I just chugged one. The fall means it's time to grab a Summit, grab a hammer, and start schlogging. Summit, a more meaningful brew since 1986. If giving back to the community means a lot to you, maybe it's time to give to the club that loves to give back. Minneapolis City is a 501c3 that provides a safe, reliable, and fun environment for young people to play the beautiful game. Look for us out in the parks and community centers around the city over the next year before the season starts and in the next summer. And consider a tax-deductible donation to a true city-focused organization.
Yes.
Send us mail. It is easy. Hit us up on Twitter at The People's Pitch or through email at mcscpodcast@gmail.com. All questions, comments, and concerns are welcome. Don't worry if you're out there listening, Bryn. We will get to your question that you asked.
Oh, shoot.
We'll get to it next episode. We promise. Don't and as always, if you want to hit up the club, it's at MPLS City SC. Pretty much everyone who listens to this show has probably said something or other on that channel, so we probably can stop mentioning it. Don't forget to join us this weekend for the opening of the club shop. Really exciting news there. We talked about it last week, so go back and listen to that if you're more interested. We'll be there starting at 8:30 a.m. Chill with us and Minnesota soccer legends that'll turn up throughout the day until 6 p.m. I'll actually be working on Sunday, Nate, from 10 to 2, so come join me and buy some shit if you can't come on Saturday. That is all for this week. We once again leave you with our house MC, Miles Stockman-Willis, a.k.a. Milays, with a track called Loco. I am John. That is Nate. And we'll be back with you in a few weeks with more goodness. And as always, you got hooked.
Got a lot of the ball lately, balling on them like a ball bearing. Solo logo pulling hair, crazy. Run the show like I ran errands. Soon start going ball, maybe. People staring whatever I'm wearing. Wanna make you a star, baby. Chromosomes are the perfect parent. She way more than alright. Bad bitch in her genotype. Damn right, I'm tryna pipe. Only ride if it settles right. So high that settle like goosebumps from the linen. Goosebumps cause she's sinning. Touch her ink, that's hinting. Drop the tape like I'm finished. I should live in Finland. Couple homies speak Finnish. Pen a drug, penicillin. My pocket pissing is filling. My inner drive at the ceiling. Despicable how I'm feeling. Millions like minions. Rap star / rap czar. Built a team support not far. They bring the whole PR. If only a sliver in my health bar. Underdog the way I come back. Overcast make them run laps. In the club raining cats and dogs. Where the fuck the umbrellas at? Where? Shooting magic bullets, know I got the juice. Got a big head, need a wider noose. Can't feel my face, still it's kinda loose. Been the truth, not of the proof. Chain look like glitter glue. Other chain got a darker hue. Take a cruise, tip the whole crew. Whole fridge from Whole Foods. I'm rock hard, stoned offline. First time that she rock climb. Treat me like some rock candy. Now she wants a rock wine. Well worded with a slight slang. She the same cause her tongue rang. Throw shade when she sunbathed. 50 bands with my art hang. Just some G's and G events. She villas chillin', we just venting. Speaking French and hailing Frenchies. Trying to get the dream eventually. Even if it takes a century. I don't wanna be a Benji. Decree to lead the gentry. People starving, truckers, Bentley money. We greeted and we pat down for the entry. Each assembly, what? If they don't want us, then fuck it, they're lost. Team on my back, I still carry the cross. About what I like, care less about the cause. Writing with diamonds, I'm like Robert Frost. Life is a movie, the scene is just saw. You at the dentist, I'll leave you in awe. Tell you what it is, laid on the law. Flicking you off while I'm rolling the raw.